Well, welcome to this edition of Connect with VP Hecht, your guide to everything student life at Florida State University. I have some special guests today talking about fitness at Florida State. So today I have Lynn Grasso, Associate Director of Programs, Caitlin Husong, Fitness Program Coordinator, and Hector Rodriguez, Group Fitness Spin Instructor. So tell me, what is Campus Rec? How is it organized? Lynn, this might be a good question for you. Is it just the Leach Center?
So we have so many different programs and activities when it comes to fitness. We do have two facilities. We've got the Leach Student Recreation Center. We've got 4 group exercise studios in there. One is free play. We've got free Pilates, yoga, bar, we've got Zoom, we've got dance, we've got strength training classes, all in the Leach Center. And then we have added a studio over at the Fitness and Movement Clinic, which people refer to as the FMC. And it's a smaller satellite facility within UHS. And so it's not as crowded at the Fitness and Movement Clinic, but if you like the crowds, then the Leach Center is for you. Additionally, at the Leach Center, we do have an indoor pool, saunas, steam rooms, and then we've got basketball courts, we've got volleyball courts. There's so many different ways to exercise in that big facility.
So today's episode, we're going to talk about fitness. So we have 2 students, graduate student and an undergraduate. Two graduate students. Okay, 2 graduate students with us. What do students, how do they define fitness?
I think as someone who's been here, both undergrad and graduate, we define fitness as just staying active. Okay. Not necessarily staying fit, but staying active, and that can be seen in many different ways. When I was here for undergrad, staying active for me meant going through walks through campus, going to the Leach, going to the FMC, sometimes even in the indoor pool. I think there's many ways we can describe being active.
For me, I also went here for undergrad as well. It was a community for me, so especially when I started working at the Leach, it was just how I met all my friends, and I'm still friends with these people for this day. So going to classes together or personal training, for me, it was really about the people.
So tell me how you mentioned you started working as undergrad at Campus Rec, but how did you get involved in Campus Rec? What was it that told you this was going to be your thing? And then how did you move up?
I love this question because I love Campus Rec a lot. I actually started in outdoors. I didn't start in fitness. Okay. And through outdoors, then I worked several different positions.
Why outdoors? What was it about that?
The lakefront. The lakefront, how beautiful it was. And well, it is. Yeah. Let me correct myself. How beautiful the lakefront is, and I just wanted to be there every day. And being a guest service representative over there, I was able to be there every day. Mm-hmm. Through there, I started networking through, different programs through Campus Rec, and then I stumbled into fitness and spin, and I started taking a few classes, and I was like, I can see myself as an instructor. I got certified, applied and auditioned, and I got it, and that for the last 3 years, I've been spinning.
Did you get your certification at Florida State? Did we provide that for you, or did you get that when you were home?
So they gave me the instructions for me to get certified, and I was able to get certified.
Okay. And were you nervous for your audition?
Oh my God.
Yeah?
We all are.
What was your music? What did you spin to for that audition?
How many years ago? That was many eons ago. But
you're going to date yourself when you tell us the song, aren't you? That's why you're not telling me.
It was probably the second Dua Lipa album that was ever out. Okay. So,
Caitlin, what about you? How'd you get involved?
Yeah, I actually started working here right after COVID. So I spent all of COVID in my apartment in Tallahassee, and I was really bored. I met all my friends freshman year and didn't make any new ones my whole sophomore year. And so I was like, okay, this is my time. We're coming back on campus. I need a job, and I think this is the easiest way for me to meet people. Mm-hmm. So I started at the Leach Center. There's only 6 of us in my little cohort, and we all became friends. And
we're all separate.
We were.
They're all in their little boxes learning how to become trainers.
Yeah, and so they set us up. They gave us all the information we needed to become a personal trainer. I luckily passed my exam, and then I just stayed. My last semester of my senior year, I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do just with my life in general, that quarter-life crisis that everyone goes through. And Lynn hit me and she was like, hey, we've got an intern position open and potentially a full-time. What do you think? And it was the best decision I ever made.
And what are you both going to grad school for now?
I'm going for public health.
Public health?
I'm doing strategic communications.
Okay. So if somebody wants to get involved, they're going to Leach or they're going to FMC, and they're realizing they could make money doing this, what do they need to do to get a job at Campus Rec?
Honestly, if they want to work for fitness, I'm the best person to email.
There you go.
So if they want to do that, but honestly, I love when they talk to our student staff because they give such an accurate description of what the job is, and then they get the referral from them. That's such a great way to do it. So just talking to our people on the floor, talk to your group fitness instructors. I always refer them to them. They give good tips on auditions as well. So talk to your student leaders as well.
I was going to touch on that. I was like, don't be afraid to speak to your instructors. Don't be intimidated by us. Like, we're students like you, you know, and we were in your shoes once. So if you are thinking about getting involved, like, talking to us is the best way to do it because we can kind of walk you through the process.
So Hector, you made me think of something. As a spin instructor, you're teaching class. Folks are probably scared to come talk to you.
Yeah.
Let's reassure our audience. Are you judging them?
Oh my God, never.
Never.
Okay. You can ask my returners.
Yes.
You can ask my girls, my team. We are a team. I never judge. I always say you can go at your own pace. We're all one big group. We're a team. I never judge.
I love that. So if I'm not sitting up when you're yelling at me, it's okay.
That's completely fine.
I think there's a lot of invitation that happens from our staff to be like, come and work with me, because you know that's kind of how it starts. And at this point in time in their lives, a lot of people are intimidated about how to ask. So y'all make it easy.
Touching on that point as well is not only intimidated to ask, but intimidated to even start or even go to the class. You know, most of my new students, when they come to spin, it's because a friend brings them. And I always encourage everyone, bring a friend, you know, bring a group. Yeah. If you're thinking about going solo, you can spin right next to me. I got you, you know, things like that. So
you don't have to be the best cardio person. It's come, no judgment, have some fun.
I always tell them, I was like, if you need to go a little bit of a slower pace, as long as you're safe, by all means. You know, if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, as long as you're safe, you could do it. So.
Now, what's one thing most students don't know that we offer in fitness?
I would say personal training is one that I always get a lot of. So we have nationally certified personal trainers that students can utilize. Their first session is free, so they can kind of get that sampler, get a baseline fitness assessment to see where they are, and then meet with their trainer on their own availability. Okay. So it's a really good program. There's someone your age, so it's a lot more accessible. But yeah, and there's a private studio in the Leach Center, so if you like the crowds are your thing, that's a great space to be in.
Like if the crowds are not good for you, you can go to like a private if you have a personal trainer?
Yep.
How expensive is it if students are watching?
A 4-session package is $99, 8 sessions $189, and then it goes up from there. It's cheaper if you bring a friend. So I always tell people if you have like a duo, a group of 4, that kind of divvies up the price a lot.
Hector, what's the thing students are surprised to know we have in fitness?
I'm biased towards spin, but I would say it's just because sometimes our studio is on the very far end of a corner. So most students are like, why? Sometimes I didn't know this was here. Yeah. Sometimes they see a line outside of the studio and they're like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, this is spin. And I was like, oh my God, you know, I knew of the bikes upstairs, but didn't know of the ones in here. So I would say spin.
And is spin, do I have to sign up in advance? Can I just show up?
Either or. We do encourage that you sign up in advance. Classes do open through DSC 25 hours in advance. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah.
And it's free?
Yes, it is.
Free spinning.
Free.
Wow. Because it's not free in the community.
That is correct.
It's a lot of money.
It is expensive to go to different, you know, spinning and cycling studios.
Yeah. Lynn, what do you, when you talk to students, what are they always surprised that we offer?
So when we look at the student employees and they're like, oh, where do you get all these great group exercise instructors? Where are these personal training, you know, our personal trainers coming from? They don't realize that we actually have training clinics. So we train people to become personal trainers. We set them up to be able to do that, and it's completely free. So they don't have to apply to do this, but we're currently doing it right now with group exercise instructors. So people that are just like, I was a former dancer, I want to teach group exercise, sign up for GFIT. It's 6 weeks, it's 2 times a week, it's free. So
they're certified to then teach, or are they taught to then teach and possibly get hired by you or someone else?
Correct. So they go through our training sessions, our clinics, we call them clinics, and then at the end, we will hire good group exercise instructors for a semester for them to save up for their certification. So after they get through a few sessions of teaching and say, this is really what I want to do, then they invest in it and they become nationally certified instructors. And so that's how we're working it out with our personal trainers are coming to us. Like a lot of them are coming saying, hey, it's a great atmosphere to work in. You're training your peers. And that's like a lot of the big thing is, I don't want to train old people. And I'm like, well, sometimes you do, but they want to train their peers. And this is a great environment to build community and connect. So a lot of people don't know that we do offer training to help them be part of our staff.
Yeah. And a great way to make money and stay fit as well. So I'm always surprised, or I was surprised, and I still have to sign up, is for your scuba. The scuba instruction, because I would love to be scuba certified, and I know you do that in the pool, and then they'll go out to open water. Yeah. So someday I'll get that on my schedule.
It's so easy, it's right there.
So what are some other ways that students can stay fit? If they're not taking your spin class, they don't want a personal trainer or can't afford a personal trainer, what else can they do if they don't know how to use some of our equipment or don't want to go into some of our facilities?
I would say we have just so many beautiful walking areas across campus. Legacy Walk underneath the Oaks is beautiful. And people just think about it, okay, I'm walking to class and that's how I'm getting my exercise. If you don't do a lot, like you're studying all the time and walking to your classes is what you consider exercise, I would say that's your daily routine. What can you do that's just a little bit extra? You know, take the time and take a walk through campus. If campus is not your thing, and maybe sports is, we have intramurals, you know, that's another whole segment to be able to talk about. But as Hector was talking about our lakefront property too, some people want to be outside. They don't want to be inside, you know, intimidating because there's large crowds, which excite people too, to be around like a lot of energy and get the vibe of the Leach Center. But it can be walking with a friend. It can be, hey, I'm a runner, but I want to run outside, and having a very safe space throughout campus to be able to run on sidewalks. It's lit up. This is a great place to exercise. We have just so many different places. If you want to swim, you can come into the Leach Center and you can swim. There are always lanes where people can get in there and do their thing. We have paddle boards. They want to do yoga on the paddleboard, then they could do that too. We've got sailing. There's so many different ways for people to be able to exercise on their own. Also, as you were saying, we've got these private personal training studios to work one-on-one with a trainer, but we've also got the FMC, which is kind of a hidden gem. Yeah. I feel like they gatekeep that too. People can go in there, and we've got a cardio loft for people to get their cardio without people watching them. And so there's just so many different ways. What did I not hit, y'all?
I'm going to tag in Westside Courts. We have a beautiful outdoor facility. There's rings out there. There's places to do body weight exercises. They've got pickleball courts, so if that's kind of your type of movement. And then I would just say, like, take the stairs. Make it simple. If you're going grocery shopping, park further away. Like, fitness doesn't have to be hard or time-consuming. It can be little things throughout the day. So just being mindful with it.
I also think, on that note, hearing you both talk about these things, I'm like, well, also, fitness is not only about that physical health, it's mental health as well. You know, if you're not comfortable going to the Leach, if you don't want to go to the Westside Courts, if you don't want to go swimming, well, try and get involved through an org, a student organization. They hold events, you know, go to those events, get outside. That's also a different way to stay active as well. Yeah. So.
Hector, you reminded me, you kind of tied in with mental health, but exercise is medicine. It's been a big buzz. What is it? How are you using it?
Exercise medicine has always just been a collaboration. It started with the American College of Sport Medicine, and they teamed up with the American Medical Association to start an initiative to say exercise is a way of stopping chronic diseases, for you to practice wellness, improve your mood, reduce your stress and anxiety, to essentially build upon your life, you know, and lead a healthy lifestyle. So they see the benefits of that. That started in 2007. In 2009, they told campuses, introduce them. You know, like let's do this on campus with college students, because they're just starting their lives. And so now Campus Recreation and St. Anne's College and the College of Nursing, we came with some leadership, and we said, we're not just going to do this alone. We're going to keep branching out and including other people. So within the division, we've got UHS and CHA, we've got College of Medicine, we've got ISSM, Institute of Sports Science and Medicine involved, and then we've got graduate students that are leading this. We've got Seminole Dining Services. We've got a lot of partners that are collaborating, and nobody owns it. Yeah. So if a student group, say for instance, the Student Dietetic Association is going to do a run, they're like, hey, can Exercise Medicine sponsor it for us? Mm-hmm. So we just had an event this last Tuesday, and it was so awesome because it was centered around a healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. We got over 140 students that pledged to incorporate exercise as a healthy practice for them in their life. So we've got all these doctors that are inviting their students and saying, hey, you get extra credit to meet me, and we're going to walk and talk.
But it's such a good stress reliever. I know we're at midterms. Everyone's feeling the stress and anxiety, and it's such a good outlet. Instead of drinking more caffeine to study and eating greasy food, like go for a walk and you will feel so much better. And so I think it's great that you're connecting that for young people so early, because when they get out into the workforce, the stress is not going to stop, right? It's just different.
And you have a great point there, because the amount of times that, I have spin students come to me, we're like, Hector, I've been so stressed. This just helped me de-stress by so many levels, I come to you every week just because, you're on a Thursday class and I'm about to start my weekend and I just want to decompress.
Leave it, yes, leave it all on the bike.
So you see it, and then that tells me that I'm doing something right, So.
Helps your mood, helps your energy, helps you sleep better. Yeah. So many things, so many benefits.
Yeah. It's just a great way to inform them, but connect them with resources across campus. I've been here for 6 or 7, maybe 8 years. I've been here for a while, and so there's even resources I didn't know about. And so through Exercises Medicine, I've found a lot of partnerships, and we're all about finding what moves you. And with all these options, you're going to find something that works for you and your schedule.
You mentioned the free word, the F word. Sounds like there's so much at Leach and Campus Rec and fitness that is free. So we don't have to list all of that. What are the things students would have to pay for? So we can just assume everything else is free. They can walk into Leach, they can swim, have one personal training session, sign up for spinning. What else? What do they have to pay for?
Yeah, they will pay for personal training past their one free session, and then we offer a bod pod, which is $25 for students, and that just gives full body composition, so lean muscle mass versus fat mass for students if that's something they're interested in. And then we have some private classes. If they want to book a spin instructor for their organization, they can pay and have a private class just for them.
Okay.
Book me.
Yeah, book Hector.
Book Hector. Okay.
Fitness to you for you.
So what, Hector, this might be part of your interview for all those student orgs watching that are going to book you.
Love.
What is your pump-up song or playlist series that if you want to get everyone ready?
Well, I am known for my Latin rights.
I love this.
I'm Latino, I'm Dominican, so I am known for those.
Okay.
I would say my hype-up song would be Bad Bunny's Nueva York song.
All right.
Yeah.
Caitlin, what about you?
I think mine's going to be Training Season by Dua Lipa. Okay. It's going to be my song.
That's fitting.
I'm going to date myself. It's DMX Party Up. Yeah,
still a
I
good
know.
one.
We're laughing a little bit about that, but
Whatever
I used
works.
to walk through the Leach Center to the beat of that song, and the energy that was around me, it was just like I'm about to lose control, and yeah, that's how it feels.
It's okay. Mine is Eminem. So, you've got to lose yourself. Like, you just put that on. Still classic. Yes. Still, my 9-year-old listens to it now, so it works. It works. I love it. All right. At this portion, we are on for our Ask Amy, which we have students write in, asking questions. So this is what our students want to know. When is the Leach the busiest?
3 p.m. on is going to be your peak time. Dies off around 8 p.m., but 3 to 8 is going to be...
And when does the Leach usually close?
10 p.m. on Mondays through Thursdays, and then 8 p.m. on Fridays.
All right. So when is it least busy?
Anytime in the morning.
Morning.
So I feel like 6 a.m. workout is a great time to go. Noon is even not too bad. Okay. So.
All right. So get in the morning, or if you want the crowd, come 3 or later. So how does a student sign up for group fitness classes, and do they fill up? Is there an app I need?
Yeah, so the MyFSU app, Campus Rec is on there, so you're going to look for this lovely little circle sphere, and you're going to click that, and we have a group fitness icon. So then from there, you'll just select the class you're looking for. All of our classes open 25 hours in advance, And I always recommend setting an alarm. So classes like spinning, especially Hector's, mat Pilates, some of these classes will fill up in less than a minute. Wow. And so students set their alarms.
Okay, so download the app, get the app, look for your class 25 hours in advance so you can get into Hector's class.
Yep.
And there's a waiting list too. So if somebody doesn't show up, then it pulls from the waiting list. And I'm not sure that people understand that. Right. If they say, hey, I want to be put on the waiting list, then they'll be moved up when somebody cancels.
So if you're on the waiting list, do you just show up in hopes that somebody will no-show?
We do get a lot of people doing that, yeah. Students should arrive 15 minutes before their class. For all classes, spinning's a little different, but all classes, doors will close at class time. Okay. So if you're registered, you get first come, first serve for those first 10 minutes, and then we just open it up 5 minutes before the class.
In worst case, you can just get a different workout if you show up and you can't get in.
Absolutely.
And I always say, don't, just because you didn't get a spot, don't feel disencouraged to not show up. Still show up, because you never know if there will be a spot for you.
Yeah, so. Okay, very good. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. That is it for this episode of Connect with VP Hecht, your guide to all things student life at Florida State University.